if any of you heard, you'd actually hear there's two tones which really come. There's the start, which to be honest isn't as loud and comes in the higher pitch. The higher pitch actually comes from the chanter, which is this part here. And if any of you guys play the recorder, it is actually quite similar to the recorder, even down to the fingering. However, it is slightly louder than the recorder. And that's what actually gives the tune and the melody. These pipes here are called drones, and that's what gives that low note you were hearing. As I like this, like alumni, and these actually just keep going. Now, a bit about how it works. Did any of you guys see me take a breath? You guys can see me breathe, right? But did you guys hear the instrument stop playing? So how do you guys think I did that? Yeah?
The bag keeps the air.
That's actually how it works. What happens is I inflate the bag, and that's what when I keep breathing, not only do I pile up the reeds, but I actually keep the bag full. And then when I need to breathe, what happens is you have to press the bag quite hard, and that's what keeps both the reeds and yourself still pretty much alive. If you have to just sit there puffing and puffing away, I think you'd be in a bit of a problem. Now, this instrument actually uses 4 reeds, which I think is probably the instrument with the most reeds probably in the world. Some might argue otherwise. Now, these drones use a single reed. Can anyone here tell me an instrument which uses a single reed? Does anyone here know an instrument which uses a single reed?
For the parents, in case you are wondering what reeds are little pieces of bamboo. Well, they come from like bamboo and wood. Yeah, wood. So little pieces that I use to help make the sound.
That's actually right, yeah. And the thing is, as Teacher Vivian was saying, a lot of wood instruments you'll find use wooden reeds. Nowadays in piping, for our drones, we will use plastic reeds because we find that they actually last a lot longer. And if any of you guys actually play a woodwind instrument, you'll know that when your reed gets wet, the pitch will start changing a lot. And that's what happens with our chanter when we blow. The chanter, unfortunately, we still have to use, what we use is actually cane reeds, because there's traditional and synthetic reeds don't sound as nice. Now, the chanter reed is actually a double reed. Does anyone now know an instrument which uses a double reed? Anyone?
What woodwind instrument uses a double reed? Woodwind instrument.
Yes. Yeah? Yeah, the oboe. Honestly, look, a young kid can outsmart some of the oldest members of this one. This shows how well they're picking up their lessons. As the young man at the front said, oboes do also use double reeds. However, as you noticed, my double reed is ever so slightly louder than an oboe. And the thing about the bagpipes is, as you noticed, I couldn't change the volume of the instrument, and that comes from the fact that at no point do I touch the reeds. So you watch an oboe player, they'll put the reeds in their mouth, same with the clarinet. All the reed is actually low in here. The reed sits in this little joint of wood, and you don't touch it. If you do, you'll ruin the reed. And that comes the problem of playing indoors, as you probably all noticed. It is a bit loud. So, does anyone actually have any questions first? Before I play a last set to show you.
Anyone have any questions?
Yeah.
Or what is weird?
Pardon?
How loud is it on the field?
How loud is it?
To be honest, it's still just as loud, but you don't notice it as much because the sound just goes away. And but the thing is, put it this way: I've had friends call me up who live about a km, well, a mile or 2 away from me, saying, "Chris, why are you practicing your pipes now?" So yeah, even outdoors, it is still a bit loud. Are there any more questions?
How long it takes you to learn this?
To be honest, I actually learned this quite quickly. I think when I first started, it took me you actually start with just something very similar to a recorder. Actually, it's only about this long, and generally people are on that for maybe 6 months to a year. Before then, they can have the mastery to play on the pipes. Then once you're on the pipes, it takes quite a while. I've known a friend who's been learning for about 2 or 3 years, and he's still stuck on trying to get the pipes working, because the thing is, learning it from a tiny little recorder, moving on to this chanter, which in itself is very loud and requires a lot of air, and then once you put in the drums as well, which equally require a lot more air, it does take quite a while. But I know there's one guy in my school who actually managed to learn the whole thing, and is now competing with us in competitions, and he's only been learning for 1 year. So but that is an exception. There are people who have been learning for 5, 6 years and are still struggling. So yeah. Any other questions?
What's the deck down there?
Any of the women here, or the young girls here, they tell you when you wear a skirt, the problem is you don't have any pockets. And a lot of women will carry their handbags, mainly the opposite problem. Scottish men, when we wear the kilts, we actually have what's called a sporran, and it's just a little pouch from a wallet, and you put anything inside. You'd be surprised how much you can actually fit in such a small container. Any other questions?
Anyone know what he's wearing?
Yeah, that's right. Now, generally, this is actually considered quite casual when you're performing. Back in my school, when I perform in my school, I have to wear a waistcoat, a jacket on top of that, and sometimes I actually have to wear an army uniform to go as well. So it is quite formal attire. So, any more questions or? Yeah. Pardon? It's not actually that heavy. Oh, it's not actually that heavy. But the thing is, we get into it, perform, and then we get out of it as quick as possible. So as soon as we finish our performance, what you'll see is most of the time we'll actually just take off our ties, take off all our waistcoats, just chuck them back into our bags, and then we'll just go around wearing a shirt and a kilt. Any last questions? Yep.
What's at the back of the backpack? What's the name?
Oh, these are actually more for decoration, but they also serve a purpose, because if I actually took these off, all these 3 drones would just be hanging around in the middle of nowhere. And that would be awfully hard to march with, or play with at all, because then I'll probably have to sit down and somehow balance them all around. So what these actually do is they actually keep these in place and stop them from moving around. Okay. So.
Anyone have a last question?
Yep.
How long can we last?
Personally, I can only play for maybe half an hour gaps without taking a break. But once you get to a certain age and once you play for long enough, there are people who can play for hours on the end. So once it's like playing your violin, your flute, your trumpet, or whatever. After you practice for long enough, you can your hands and your whatever you use to play with doesn't get as tired. So then you can play for longer and longer. So like, for example, if any of you have seen any of the teachers play, they seem to be able to play for so much longer than we can because they practice for so long. Okay, so I'm just going to finish off with a quick 2 marches. These 2 marches are actually traditional Scottish marches, and this is to show the general music of the bagpipes. So this is what we play most of the time, actually.
Two young men who want to ask some questions.
Oh.
How do you blow it?
It's just through this mouthpiece here. Actually, it's just like, imagine it's just like a tube going straight to the bag, which keeps it inflating.
Vincent, you want to ask anything?
No, that was it.